Alright, we are recording right now. What's up, guys? Fiberwolf here. Today, I'm joined with DJ Foxy, and today we're gonna be interviewing Collie. So, hi.
Hi there.
So, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions today, but before I do, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Hope Collie. I'm a dog. Bark bark. Uh, I'm a mascot. My the organization Hope Can Be really seeks to, in this really complicated era we're in. The thing that me and people I know hear most is that people either don't feel emotionally safe. Physical safety is one thing, but people feel like the whimsy is gone out of things. People feel uninspired. People don't feel motivated. People feel like their dreams are so far out of reach. And what I know in my life and the lives of my colleagues is that there's so much people can do if they just have the right tools and the right motivations, and honestly, if they feel safe enough. And so that's I want nothing less and nothing more than to help anyone, to help you make your dreams come true. And so that's what I try to do, whether it be through engagement at different events, conventions, anime cons, comic cons, furry cons, you name it. I do workshops in person about the topic, about dreaming more, about doing more, about sticking with it, about finding new exciting things to do, about learning things as a lifelong process. I do videos. I need to do more. It's been a busy season, and we just launched more recently, we've been launching and really kind of getting spun up on a live stream called Hope's Hangout. That's on Twitch, and we'll be coming to YouTube and other platforms really soon. So there's a lot of Hope stuff going on, but you can follow me on any sort of socials. I'm basically Hope Collie anywhere you could look. So that's the nice thing. It's pretty easy to find me.
Alright, shall we get to the first question? So, what made you join the fandom? What
Oh,
was. Yeah.
sorry.
So, what inspired you to came into the furry community? Because like a lot of us do have a passion when we first joined. What made you come into it?
The fun,
Can you hear
the
me?
most fun. Sorry, I'll start over.
Yeah.
The most fun thing that I see in popular culture nowadays is fandom. Name anything and you could be part of it, whether it be your favorite comic book or anime or manga or just a character of anything, and you can dress up as them, you can walk a mile in their shoes, and whatever you're into, there's a group of people who is just as passionate about it as you are. It's a way of expressing love, and I love that so freaking much. So and these are some of the most creative people I've ever met, and there's always more joining in, and there's such great community. So I love going to anime conventions and comic book conventions and fan conventions in general. Furries are amazing. I Some of my best friends have been in that community, and even though Hope is more of a mascot, I mean, I can't deny it's fun to dress up as a fluffy dog. Like it just is. Like try it sometime. Seriously, legit. Um, for me, all fandom, there's so many people out there who are trying to like do self-help stuff and like say, hey, this is the answer, or they're trying to sell you something or market something to make your life better. But if those things all worked, nobody would need them. Everybody would be doing amazing things. But a lot of people aren't, especially people who are in fan communities, especially people, who might have been bullied when they were young. And I figure if I can help people in a way that's more accessible to them, like being a fluffy dog, then I want to do that. But furry is amazing for like almost like self development. You pick this thing that is like an avatar for you of who you want to be. And that helps you develop and explore who you can be in a safe way that maybe you wouldn't normally feel. So I freaking love the furry community and all that it represents.
Cool. So,
I can definitely agree with that. I
yeah,
can definitely agree with that.
because I've been around since almost 5 years now. Well, it is 5 years, and I've seen a lot of cool stuff, like at cons, on the side, on VR chat, and etc. etc. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
No, actually that's about. We just celebrated Hope's fifth. We just celebrated Hope's fifth birthday. Oh, what are my hands doing? We just celebrated Hope's fifth birthday, actually. Like, or of like the suit of the costume being a real thing, and like really things starting to take off. And it feels hard to believe that's been 5 years, but it has been, and I still feel like we're just getting started. You know?
Mm-hmm.
hmm so what was the first con did you go to um before you came into your own character?
Hmm. I think the very first furry convention I ever got the chance to go to, and I had already been going to, to anime conventions and comic cons before, but then someone told me about this furry thing, and I was like, "Huh, well that's interesting. What's that?" And they told me what it was, and I was really curious. I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." And then they're like, "Well, wait a second, it may not be for you." I'm like, "That's okay. I want to see it with my own eyes." And so I went to FWA in Atlanta, and that was my very first. And I was so blown away um, that I kept engaging with that community over the years, along with anime and comic book or Comic Con fan communities, cosplay communities. To me, they're all some version of the same. They're just really creative and talented people coming together. Furries, though, have the extra edge in that it's not just being fans of a thing, it's using being fans of an aesthetic as a launch pad for really figuring themselves out and really self discovery. And I don't see any other community that does that nearly as well. So I love it so much. But that FWA blew me away so much. And since then, I've gotten a chance to go to so many cool cons. I've gotten a chance to go and do workshops at MFF, at A&E, at Megaplex, which is a lot of fun. At Anthrocon last year, we did our first Anthrocon workshop. And some virtual ones too. We actually did our first Hope panel uh, during the pandemic at Anthro Northwest, and that was really cool too.
Awesome. Uh,
Yep. I
and
got
I
to
and
see
I
the.
and I've
I
seen
got to see the.
sorry, Foxy.
Yeah, I
Um,
got.
go ahead.
Yeah, I saw my first Hope panel at Megaplex 2022. That was unforgettable. It's also
It
the very
wasn't
first one I
it,
recorded.
that, and that wasn't even done yet. 2022 was like it was still half formed, and like I was still bumbling around, and I wasn't. It wasn't ready yet. It wouldn't be ready until like later that year. I was still like trying to get it right, but I was still. Oh my goodness, I can't even go back and watch that one because I'm like, oh, it's so close to being good, but it's not yet. But then, of course, I finished it and I talked to people like yourself, and you're like, what are you talking about? It was great. And I'm like, I got to work on it more.
Cool.
It's just always gotten better and better.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks,
And
Foxy.
I've watched Foxy's I think it's two panels you did.
Yeah, and
If
another
I'm
one
not
coming
mistaken.
soon that's even better.
Uh, I saw the one that he did with MFF, and then the one he did with FWA.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the most recent one that Foxy helped me record. Well, that Foxy helped me put out. We're in the process of getting ready one I did at MFF that I honestly think is the best one I've ever done in terms of just how cohesive it is. Like if you're going to watch something, I would even say don't watch the FWA one. Wait for the MFF one because that's even better. But even better than any of that, come see it in person because it really is an experience, and it's kind of one of those. It'll be nice if you're watching it, but if you're in the room, if you lock in, it'll blow your mind. I swear it will. But
Yeah.
it's been fun producing these with DJ, and he's such an awesome videographer, and it's so much fun to work with him on these because I wouldn't normally, I have so much going on when I'm doing these workshops and panels. There's not much else I can pay attention to. I have to just be in the moment. And DJ is paying attention to like, how do you record this? Like, how do you like put this onto like a camera? And he's so good at that. So it's a lot of fun to work with someone who's really concentrating on that aspect.
Hmm.
Thanks.
Of course.
So this is going to be probably be a difficult question or probably a good question. Uh, if you could go back in time, what would you tell your past self?
Mm. I've had a lot of struggle, I've had a lot of struggle. I think we all have. The more I go, the more I realize everybody has a struggle that it's at the back of their mind. They're hiding from their own trauma. And it might seem like it's a little thing, but especially people in fandom are expressing themselves in these really creative ways, in some ways, trying to work out some piece of themselves that they feel they're missing or they're looking for. And I think we all have that piece of ourselves that eludes us, that we're hiding from. I know in my life, I had to confront that really head on when I was in school. I got very sick, and I was told my life would be forever changed from that moment, and I would have to deal with this thing all my life. And it's true, I do. And it's a lot of hassle, and it can get expensive sometimes, and it's a lot. But we all have either had that kind of trauma or we're going to have that kind of trauma. And this perspective it's given me has been amazing, but it was really, really hard. So I guess if I were to go back in time and tell myself through all the bullying I had in school, through the struggles I've had based on the medical stuff, through some of the home life stuff that I know a lot of us can relate to, I would just tell myself, and I would tell a lot of other people, it's going to be okay. Just hang on. It's going to be okay. And it's going to work out even better than you thought.
Cool. Because a lot of people out there in the world right now, put it this way, there'll be some times in life you will always will go through that, and it can be really struggling. I've been there, Foxy's been there, a lot of people have
Mhm.
been there, even
Everyone can relate.
closest
Everyone's got a story.
people. Yeah, it's because last year I had a tough year as well, which wasn't really great for me at all because I had a lot of problems happening on my end, which
Oh
I
no. Well, I hope you're better now, a little bit.
yeah, I'm getting a bit better. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
So just to bring up, just to have a goofy moment, what was the funniest moment you have ever had at a con?
Oh, moments at a convention. Oh, goodness. I'll have to think for a second. So the most fun thing for me, especially about the furry crowd, is that they're totally in on the joke. A lot of people I know out there think furries are these people who like look at them, they dress up as animals, they don't get how ridiculous they look. Furries totally get how ridiculous they look. They don't care. They know, and they're like, I'm doing it anyway because it makes me happy. So it's less like funny things that happen and more just goofiness and joy that people give themselves over to. I think in terms of like this like funny stuff, it's usually just the ways that I'm dumb. I'll be real. It's like I'll screw up something. I'll just be completely oblivious to something. I'll forget something. It's usually my fault, whatever it is, and that's the funny part. Um, but just sometimes just the hilarity of just like how badly something can go, but it's so funny. It's like, well, this couldn't get any worse. But I mean, you either have to cry or you have to laugh, and I try to laugh whenever I can. So that's the most fun thing. And of course, like funny things happen in the moment. I forget most of them, but when you're with friends, when you're at a dinner table with some of your best friends, amazing things can happen. Some of my favorite things about conventions are just the dinners and the meals where you may not even be the one making the joke, but your two best friends across the table are, and you're just sitting there getting basically dinner and a free show. You don't even have to pay for it. And you get gifts afterwards and memes. And honestly, people say memories that will last a lifetime. Those are actually some memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, especially that pizza incident that happened years ago. You
Hmm?
pro-
Oh, I have no idea. What do you mean?
oh, you probably don't know about that. One time at BOFC, these guys had pizza, right?
Hmm.
And let me just say this: they marinated the pizza in a room with white
Hmm.
sauce, but not just white sauce, the personal sauce, and they decided to go outside, and there was a homeless person there, and they fed it to him.
I
Yeah,
don't think that last part actually happened.
Well, I hope everybody was safe and everybody was all right.
yeah,
I know a lot of crazy stuff happens at conventions, good
yeah,
and bad.
yeah. Like
But
especially that one time, when someone actually, I think it was 2024. This happened where at FWA, because Coda was telling me about it. Someone actually jumped off a ledge, like I think it was I think it was the fifth floor or the very top floor. Someone was dangling over the balcony, and they dropped all the way down and actually died because of it. That's what
oh
I heard.
wow. I was there. I think if somebody had died, we would have heard about it. I do know that I know last year, those hotels in Atlanta that FWA is in, the main hotel is almost 50 stories tall.
Yeah,
It's very illegal to even be over the ledge of that because something that falls off of it could really hurt someone. And that's not a concern just for conventions like ours. For any event that's there, they take it very, very seriously. And I think someone who is being a little foolish, maybe they were under the influence, or maybe they were just maybe not making the smartest decision, decided, oh, I know, I'll go lean over the ledge and my friends will take a picture of me. And they got themselves banned from the premises and they had their badges ripped. And I'm sure they didn't enjoy that, but at the same time, that can be a very dangerous thing. If something goes wrong, somebody could get really hurt. It's like if you drop coins off of like a balcony, if it's long enough down and that hotel is really tall, if it hits someone in the head, that legit can cause trauma. So it's very
yeah.
illegal. It's very not okay. Now there was someone maybe you're thinking of. I will say in 2024 there was video of in a adjoining hotel. There was somebody who was jumping around the balconies. It was a slightly shorter hotel, not nearly as tall, but still illegal to do this stuff. Still not okay. But they were jumping around different balconies. Some balconies were on one wall, some balconies were on another, and they were kind of jumping between them like wall running. And again, not I think they were okay, but very illegal and very a very bannable offense. Some crazy stuff happens at all any of these
Yeah,
conventions. There was one convention I was at where somebody took some where somebody did jump. This was a convention years ago where somebody took some drugs. Um, I think several. They also might have
oh
been
yeah, I
they
heard about
also
that
might have been
story.
drinking, and they I believe it was an Embassy Suites, and after the con had finished on the final night, late at night, they had what you might call they had just had a bad trip, and they ended up jumping off of a fourth story balcony, somehow landing on a padded seat in the lobby, and somehow survived. They broke almost every bone in their body. They didn't break their head, I think because they were wearing a costume head, but they somehow made up almost completely full recovery.
Well,
It was quite a miracle, but I've heard the story from enough people where I know it's true. Um, crazy things happens at these conventions, but and a lot of foolishness, of course, because it's a lot of fun, especially because it's young people. So and I mean, and I say this as still generally a young person, but like you know, people go crazy, and that's awesome. But sometimes people can get hurt, or people can make kind of foolish decisions too. So there's always gonna be some of that. That's just life, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
even
Yep.
even that one time too, because I think Ash put it on YouTube. There was this guy running around with a like dressed as a mime, carrying a gun, but people were thinking it was actually a real gun.
Oh yeah, and I think that person has been banned from a lot of conventions
Yeah,
because they kind of they're I think friends have told me that they're not really in any one fandom. They're kind of just a troll. They kind of go to get attention and kind of, listen, some people go to make trouble. And this person I think was trying to get attention, and eventually once it became clear that conventions didn't like him uh, doing some of the things he was doing, he sort of took that on as his identity and said, I'm going to go make trouble and everyone's going to pay attention. And I think conventions have started to catch on and they don't want him near there anymore, I think,
yeah,
which is really sad for everyone involved. He seems like a really talented guy, but listen, if you're trying to upset people's fun or cause harm or put people in danger, even if you're
it's not
joking about
okay.
it,
It's not
it's
okay.
a very serious, especially I think there was stuff involving a fire, a mock, like a, yeah, like a prop firearm, that, and it listen, especially in America, this stuff is very real. People grow
Yeah,
up always being on drills because shootings happen a lot. It's something we want to protect people from. It's something we want to comfort people from. So if
exactly.
you're at this sort of event where you're trying to have a fun time, you're trying to seek refuge from a lot of those real world problems, the idea that even somebody bringing in, a fake weapon and pointing it at people can be really, really scary. So I can understand why a lot of people were really scared by that, and I can understand why a lot of events may not want him at them anymore. Unfortunately.
Well, I think he came back one time, and I think that was Ethicon. I think that's when that guy came back with other people. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Um, what was the reason behind your name? Like, what was the story behind it? Like, how did you come up with your name?
I between personal struggles I have had over time, I think I got to a point where I was really looking at exactly, I knew I wanted to give back in some way. I knew I wanted to help people. And figuring out the exact way, this was several years ago, but I was looking around, and at that point a lot of people were quite depressed, were quite sad. And I was kind of looking around at, like, what's the one thing that people need right now? What do people not have? And I think this was a moment in America, in the country I'm from, where I think there was uh, a lot of resurgence of things that people had thought were dead and buried, were gone. A lot of really harmful ways of looking at things. A lot of bigotry, a lot of anti-Semitism, a lot of racism, a lot of nasty behavior. And I think in that moment people became really disillusioned with this peace they thought they had, and people didn't know what to do about it. And so I said, how can I help? I can't, I don't have a lot of power. That's okay. What can I do? And I thought, and then I was just kind of thinking up of trying to have ideas. And suddenly, what do people need? Hope popped into my head. And he was this dog. And the moment I had the idea, I was like, that's what it has to be. And that's what it must be. There's no possible other thing it can be. The idea and the character, it was so strong. It was immediately I immediately fell in love with it, and I immediately knew that was going to be my mission. That's what I needed to do. And goodness, I've been so lucky that I've been able to help people with that in the years since then.
Yeah, because the community needs a lot of like with a lot of that because without that, people would have been really doubt themselves and they would definitely take it on life and stuff like that. So I'm glad
Yep.
that you're in the community as well that does help people like that.
The thing I've seen with honestly all of these fandoms, with all of these communities, but especially with furries, is they're so open and empathetic and generous. Sometimes to a fault too. Sometimes there are people who maybe are trying to create trouble who don't necessarily deserve as much empathy and leeway as they get. But it's certainly better to be that than to be cynical and gatekeepy and mean spirited. And I've seen a lot. I've definitely seen some of that behavior in other communities. Um, and they have their reasons for that. But I love the furry community because they're always willing to lend an ear. They're always willing to lend a helping hand.
Mm. I try not to tear up, but anyway, um,
Hmm.
what would you tell people at home of the best advice would you tell them?
Could you repeat the question one more time?
What would you tell people at home? What advice would you give them?
What advice would I give people at home?
Yeah.
I guess I'd say that you're much, much better off than you think you. Oh my goodness, what? I'll start it. What was my arm doing? I guess I'd tell people that, and I know it's going to feel weird to hear this, that you're much better off than you think you are. It can feel like what you want is so far in the distance, like you have so much pain and so much trauma, or you have so much to deal with, so much stress. But I know a lot of times we feel like we're going in completely the wrong direction. But the fact is, we're usually not. We're usually going in maybe 98% of the right direction, but we might be just a couple degrees off. But those 2 degrees can feel like they can feel like half the world, but they're not. You're doing much better than you think you are. And you are so close to finding the solutions to the things you want to do and to the challenges you want to conquer. There's help out there. But sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves that we do feel pain and we do have these struggles. It's okay not to be strong all the time. It's okay to show some weakness sometimes, especially to yourself. But there's so much help out there too.
Hmm. And there's always people that will always be around you no matter what. If you have in those moments, you'll always have people there with you as like a sort of guide or just someone to help you out.
Oh, totally. You can always find someone to help out.
Hmm. Anyway, there's about 6 questions now done.
Oh, okay.
Um, so when you first did your first panel, what was going through your mind at the time? Like, is this what I want to do, or is this gonna help people in need?
Oh, so once I knew that Hope Collie was going to be a real thing, I did so much homework and study, and I'll be real, I started testing and workshopping things. I started workshopping the workshop. Um, I did a couple test panels. I didn't have the costume yet. People really didn't know what they were walking into, but I was doing them at conventions that were, a little smaller, that were willing to take a chance on some unknown kind of thing. And the first panel I did was sort of almost like a group, sort of a group, kind of like a support group. It was like, all right, well, let's talk about what you guys are dealing with. and maybe we can come up with some answers together to help each other. And then I learned some more techniques. And again, none of them therapy. I'm not a therapist. I'm a dog. You know, a therapist sits down with each person individually and talks to them and finds a solution that is uniquely tailored to you. Well, I can't do that because I'm speaking to a lot of people, and these events would very much rather I don't do that. you know, um, for very very understandable legal reasons. So I don't want to hurt anyone. Um, but I thought, well, these things, I keep finding things that have helped me and help a lot of other people. And well, I just want to share those with I want to share those with people who might need the help. And you know what? Not all of them are going to work for every single person. And that's okay. But my desire is that, people will try the things that the activities and the things we do in the panel. And if they don't work, they'll try to find other ones too. The point is that people keep looking for a solution, not that I necessarily have the right one. I just have a starter pack. But there are all sorts of ways that you can help, and you can look at things to try to come up with a solution for how to make your life better. But I just want to get people started. So I actually started giving hope panels a full over 2 years before I actually had or debuted the costume version. And even then, once I debuted the costume version, it still took another year to get them really, really good. So the first one, I just didn't know if it would help at all. And then at the end of the first one, people said it helped. I'm like, okay, we'll do another one. And then when I got the costume, the first panel I gave was a big one at MFF, and it went so badly. It went off the rails. I completely lost my place about 2/3 of the way through, and had to just sort of improv the kind of just make up the rest of it as I went along. And like I'm always improving some of the panels. Like I'm not reading from a script or anything, but this one just everything went wrong. um, and I felt so bad at the end of it. I felt like I really screwed up. I really screwed up. And then one of my best friends, who happened to be watching the panel, I talked to, I think the next year, saying, or maybe a couple years later, I was like, yeah, but the panels are good now, but didn't you see that? You were there at that first one that everything went wrong at. And they were like, what are you talking about? I was crying at the end. So sometimes even when you think things are going wrong, nobody else knows and everyone else thinks it's fantastic.
Hmm. All right. This concludes the interview. Uh, this has been a really good interview. Thank you for coming on here.
Oh, it was such an honor to be asked. Thanks so much for having me.
No worries. Um, where where can people find you?
I'm Hope Collie everywhere that collies are sold. Wait a second. No, no, no. I'm Hope Collie on I'm Hope Collie on pretty much every site. If you just search Hope Collie, you'll find me. Instagram, just search Hope Collie. Twitter, Blue Sky, what TikTok, Twitch, just Hope Collie. I should come right up.
Today's sponsors. Joking.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
We also I should promote. We also have, if you engage with any of our content, we do have a channel on Telegram that is linked to a chat. If you try to comment on any of the items in the Telegram update channel, which is just Hope Collie, um, there's a chat link to it, and there's an amazing bunch of beans in there of lovely people. We're all just trying to help each other improve and learn new things and improve on our skills and be better people. And if you'd like to join that group, you can absolutely seek that out. And we just opened our Discord, and you can find our Discord by engaging with the streams. We post links when we do streams, and we're building up that community too. So some really exciting community stuff we've been working on lately.
Mm-hmm.
anything you want to say, Foxy?
Well, I'm very happy that you decided to come here and get interviewed by my buddy Fireball. I hope. Been working with him for a while. He's been absolutely wonderful. And of course, I'm happy to be a part of helping both of y'all with whatever like videos, content, and all that.
Mm-hmm. It's a true pleasure to be here with both of you. No, really.
So that
Hmm.
is it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, go subscribe to DJ Foxy as well, because he's just such an amazing being as well. And go follow Collie on Instagram, Facebook. I think you have Facebook, right? Um,
I need to create a Facebook page. There will be a Hope Collie Facebook page soon, but right now, Instagram, YouTube. I have like multiple YouTube channels now. It's getting insane. Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, I do need to make a YouTube page. That's a good point.
anyway, go guys support these beans, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.